First, I want to say thanks to the new subscribers. We've doubled our sub count since the start of the year. If you're new here, welcome. We've been hard at work building a Chrome extension to enhance YouTube Studio for creators like myself. I added a widget to give me feedback on video title lengths. It's recommended to have titles that are under 60 characters. And I just added another widget to interact with the thumbnail picker so we can analyze our video thumbnails. In this video, I want to do a little refactoring and add onto our thumbnail widget. And so to start off, we'll refactor some code from a imperative style to a more declarative style. So in the last video, we wrote this for each, and you'll notice the switch expression inside it has 3 cases, and each of them end up with a call to dispatch. And so I'm going to refactor this to use reduce. That way we can end up with a single call to dispatch from a single maybe source or a single option. Because right now there's sort of 3 options for each of our different cases in our switch. So we'll refactor for each to use reduce, and our accumulator will be an option type because that's what we want to have in the end. So we'll have some source attribute. You can see it works just the same. We're reducing our mutation list to a single option. So now our code's a little more declarative and less imperative and more dry, as now there's only one call to dispatch at the end and not 2 or 3 different calls. So now that that's done, we can move on to adding onto our thumbnail widget. I want to add a color palette, much like Adobe Color does here. That way we can view and kind of get an idea of the mood or the feeling of our thumbnails when they are uploaded. So we'll extract the common colors and put them just below our thumbnail. So after a bit of Googling, I came across color.js, which seems to do exactly what I want to do. So we'll just do a little bit of tidying up, moving things into their correct module, so we can add a new module for our palette component here. So color.js will give us back a color palette represented as an array of arrays of integers. And so to import color.js into a rescript module, we can use the app module decorator, and we'll wire up the prominent function, which will return a promise of a color palette that we can then use inside our component. So we'll pass the source prop into our palette component from our preview component. And so we know our color palette comes back as an array, so we can default to an empty array. So we'll go ahead and wire up a use effect. So after our component loads, it'll call out to color.js's prominent function, then give us back the color palette that we can then set on our state. And because Rescript is strongly typed, we have to resolve this promise and then ignore it. You can read the docs on that to know why, but it's just something we got to do. To simply render our color palette here, we can map over our colors. And we can turn our color array into RGB colors by joining them with a comma and setting that as the background color through styles. Now we can add our palette component to the children of our thumbnail preview component. So with Flexbox, we can display a nice row of our colors here. Give it a little margin to give it a little breathing room. But if we select a new thumbnail, it doesn't change the palette. So let's fix that. The fix is a simple change to our use effect to add source to our dependencies. So thank you for watching. That's about all we needed to do to add a color palette so we can get the mood or feel of our thumbnails when we select them. You can help bring the extension to the web store by hitting like or subscribe. Thank you for watching.